and the 2001 French Grand Prix is underway. Jenson Button's in the lead. When did he do that? Last time I saw, he was still dicing for second position with Alonso. I mean, the two people who are really up there and are gunning for it right now are Jacques Villeneuve, who just then, amazingly, made a double overtake heading into Adelaide. And that's it. That really is it. I was expecting Marquez to put up a bit more resistance, but there you go. Jacques Villeneuve, with relative ease, got past Marquez. And this is something I wasn't expecting to see. Forward movement from a Minardi driver. Look at that dive bomb from Fernando Alonso. A fantastic move. He's overtaken both Jaguar drivers and Jean Alesi. Oh! There's been a crash between Olivier Panis and Eddie Irvine. Yeah, look at the speed Michael Schumacher is gaining, even on the Williams of Juan Pablo Montoya. He's going to dive it up the inside on Montoya and also on Fernando Alonso. I expected that was going to be the move that someone finally got past Fernando Alonso for third place, and there we have it. When it comes down to it, Jenson Button has beaten Jacques Villeneuve, and Jenson Button is going to win the 2001 French Grand Prix, his third race win of the 2001 season. Right then guys, it's PSL here, and I'm here for part 11 in my Formula 1 2001 Reverse Grid Race Series, where we're here for the British Grand Prix. It's my home Grand Prix, it's Championship leader Jenson Button's home Grand Prix, along with Eddie Irvine and David Coulthard. So anyway, starting positions, we've got Tarso Marquez on pole position. Now I think here's where I'm going to start contradicting myself really, because I believe I made the decision, or I said back in the 2002 Reverse Grid Race Series, that any driver who didn't make it within the 107% rule would start at the back. Well, if they didn't race, then I wouldn't, you know. Basically what I'm saying is Marquez was the slowest in qualifying. He was half a second over the 107% time and didn't race, consequently. But because, I don't know, I just feel like that would be stupid, sticking Marquez at the back. I mean, Minardi, they're actually in the hunt in the championship. They're actually competing for something. Marquez is. I mean, we may as well give him a chance, because or else it kind of defeats the point, really, of reversing the grid. If the back marker doesn't start the front, really, it kind of goes against the whole ethos of the series. But regardless, I'm potentially contradicting myself on that point, that, yes, Marquez didn't race, but he is starting from the front nonetheless. So it's Marquez from Alonso, Benoldi, Fisichella, Jenson Button in 5th. Jenson Button, the man who won the previous Grand Prix, the French Grand Prix. He's the only guy to have won multiple races, actually. We've done 10 Grand Prix, and there's been 8 different race winners, but Jenson Button has won 3 races. He won at Imola, he won at the A1 ring, and then last time out he won at Magny Cours. And, I mean, this could potentially happen again. Jenson Button, he's in 5th, it's his home Grand Prix. He could easily win this race with the pace he's got and the pace of the Benetton. And 2 of the 3 times that Jenson Button has won a Grand Prix, Fisichella's come in second. So yeah, I'll let Murray Walker take you through the remainder of the starting positions.
It's Silverstone, always a superb event for racing fans. Large crowds gathered on Friday, and they continue to grow over the weekend. The 50-year-old circuit was host to Formula One's first ever Grand Prix back in 1950, and it's still home to the British Grand Prix today. Second position is Alonso. Taking up third place is Benoldi. And it's fourth position for Giancarlo Fisichella. And in 5th we have Jenson Button. And 6th spot is Jos Verstappen. Gaston Mazzacane is on row 4 and in 7th position. Eddie Irvine 8th. Jean Alesi in 9th. It's 10th place for Luciano Berti. Jacques Villeneuve is in 11th place. 12th spot goes to Panis. Ralf Schumacher is on row 7. Nick Heidfeld is in 14th. In 15th spot we have Juan Pablo Montoya. Kimi Raikkonen is in 16th spot. Rubens Barrichello takes up 17th place. 18th for Heinz Harald Frentzen. In 19th spot is Jarno Trulli. 20th is David Coulthard. Onto the back of the grid now. And in 21st place we have Mika Häkkinen. And last but not least on the grid is Michael Schumacher.
Thank you, Murray, once again. So we got both Minardis on the front row, Benoldi in third, Fisichella in fourth, and the 2001 British Grand Prix is underway. Now we're going to be heading down towards the first corner, Copse. Both Minardi drivers side by side. Alonso's going to have the inside line heading into Copse. That's not necessarily the best line. And as we could see, Marquez, he's been able to hold on to the race lead. But now towards Magnussen and Beckett, Alonso is still within striking distance. But he's got to go around the outside, and no, that hasn't worked. Marquez is still leading the British Grand Prix. Alonso is in second. There's a Benetton driver charging, and it is Fisichella. Fisichella is in third place, but he's got both Arrows drivers there. We've got both Jordans battling out at the back of the field. So, Fisichella, in fact, actually, he's lost speed down the straight. Jos Verstappen is gunning for it now, but he is still currently in third place. Fourth is Fisichella, and that's going to be gutting to lose third down the straight. In fact, actually, with Fisichella voluntarily going on the grass to try and make a move on Jos Verstappen, but it just didn't work. You can't go 3 wide into that corner because Alonso really is holding up those behind him. Fisichella's back into third, and I think actually soon to be second. And, well, he's just going to hold it, going under bridge, and no, he's still side by side with Alonso. Montoya has got stuck on the curb. That's a very strange thing to have happened. Okay, but Marquez is leading. Alonso is still in second. I believe we're going around Luffield, and Fisichella is in third. But I'm imagining that it really isn't going to take a great deal of effort, really, for either a Benetton or an Arrows driver to get past the Minardis. Because, I mean, as I said in the previous episode, or maybe the one before that, the Minardis, they're kind of on a level on their own. There isn't really another team which is as slow as them. Even the Arrows, which is probably the next quickest team, is quite a bit quicker. Going under bridge once again, and Fisichella. Oh, he's gone out onto the grass as Fisichella. He has lost the place definitely now to Verstappen. Verstappen is in third. Well, we're seeing some scrappy things going on here. Benoldi, he went out onto the grass. He's gone out onto the grass again. Very strange things going on here. Button is in fifth. Fisichella fourth. Verstappen third, with still both Minardis at the front. Oh, Alonso, he's gone out onto the grass. Yes, he had lost second place to Jos Verstappen. Well, in fact, actually, Jos Verstappen made that move a while ago. Alonso then was attempting to re-overtake him, but then he's got forced out onto the grass. A rare mistake from Fernando Alonso. You don't see that all that often. And we are seeing all sorts of scrappy manoeuvres. Some people going out onto the grass seemingly intentionally, and some are just mistakes like that. Fisichella is the latest one to run out onto the grass. Alonso's in fifth. Benoldi's in sixth, so it's still the same 3 teams populating the points positions. Verstappen in second, but Button is gunning for it right now, and Fisichella, we've seen the pace he's shown already this race. You can't rule him out. Whoa, no, both Benettons have crashed behind there. We just saw that actually, both Benettons. They are both gunning for the race lead. I mean, there's no doubting it. They've both got the speed right now, and they've actually collided. But Jos Verstappen has taken the lead of the 2001 British Grand Prix. Well, there you go. I was not expecting that. I mean, after about 30 seconds of this race, or 20 seconds, 10 seconds, I mean, pretty much instantly, I saw Fisichella's pace and I thought, right, he's going to win this race. Wasn't expecting Verstappen to do it. I mean, you know, Fisichella, Button, they could still both do it, but they do really need to stop scrapping out with each other. I mean, this is the first time all series that Fisichella has really been on a par with Jenson Button, and you can tell that by just, you know, how inexperienced they are racing with each other. Crashing, no real damage, to be honest, but this really isn't going to do them any good. And Jos Verstappen, he hasn't won a race yet. He's got a second place, so nearly won at the European Grand Prix. And as much as I would like Button to take a win at his home Grand Prix, as much as I would like Fisichella to do a brilliant job to prove the critics wrong, Jos Verstappen to take a race win would be brilliant, especially for Arrows, which, less so in 2001, but are still at their very core a British team. Oh, and Fisichella, he's run out wide once again. We're seeing a lot of people make that mistake going into the bridge corner. In fact, Fisichella's day goes from bad to worse. Eddie Irvine has rear-ended him there. But Panis, I was going to bring this up at some point, but I may as well do now, because now's as good a time as any. BAR, they're always in there. They're always there or thereabouts. In the same way for Benetton, there's always a Benetton driver competing for a points position, and there's always a BAR driver. Hence why those two teams are first and second in the constructors' standings. Olivier Panis, he's behind Jenson Button. It's amazing that no one has got past Marquez. Now I know with these reverse grid races you don't see all of the action, you just see it cut down, but there has been more overtakes in this race than there has been in any other race in this season so far. But I think Panis, he's going to comfortably make the move on Marquez. No one, apart from Jos Verstappen, has got past Marquez. And there you go, Olivier Panis is in second, Marquez is third. What I was going to say is there's been a loss of action, collisions, well, minor collisions, overtakes, all sorts. This race has been by far and away the most exciting because it's been so scrappy. The point I'm trying to make is, though, is that both Benetton drivers would have easily got past Marquez a long time ago. The problem is they've been too busy battling amongst themselves, as proven by the fact that the second Fisichella and Button are separated. Jenson Button moves into third place and overtakes Marquez. And, you know, Benetton, you do feel that they could do with some kind of team orders in play, you know, only race once you've got past the Minardis. That would make sense, because honestly, Fisichella would be right up there with Verstappen otherwise. Button, you feel, would have done better, to be honest. You just feel like the situation hasn't been handled all that greatly from the Benetton pit wall. It's cost them points. Right, once again, going through Maggots, Beckett and now Chapel, we're seeing yet another scrap between Benetton and BAR. Jacques Villeneuve has got into the mix, and I think Panis has beaten Button. I don't see Button catching up to Panis, let alone passing him, but I think Fisichella's finally overtaken Marquez. He's now... oh no, he hasn't overtaken him just yet, though. But if Fisichella is able to make the move stick now, which he has, he will now have an opportunity to pull away from Jacques Villeneuve, and hopefully that will serve him later down the line, although just ignore everything I've been saying, because Villeneuve has got past Marquez a few seconds after Fisichella did. So, you know, in the crucial Constructors' Championship battle between first and second, yes, Benetton, they've got a sizable Constructors' Championship lead, really. Marquez, he's on a mad one, really. He was in the final points place. I doubt he is anymore. But the thing is, though, is this really is the Constructors' Championship on track. It really is, because you got Panis there, Button there, Fisichella there, Villeneuve there. You got BAR and Benetton out on track fighting with each other, and yes, they're fighting in the championship, and I know there's a massive gap in points, but if BAR can beat Benetton here, it is going to be, you know, the start of the road to recovery, because Benetton, their form is going to dip in this series as it improved in real life, and if BAR can keep up these kind of performances, never mind if Panis catches up with Jos Verstappen. That's something I haven't even mentioned. Yeah, because Button, he's been dropping back from Panis. So Panis is going around Stowe. Verstappen isn't too far ahead. I don't quite know what lap we're on, but I think there is easily enough time for Panis to catch up to Verstappen. The question is, though, is will he be able to pass him as well? I don't think you will have seen some action for a little while, so I thought I'd fill you in on the race, considering we are getting close to the end of the Grand Prix. Jos Verstappen is still leading the Grand Prix. Panis, he caught up to Verstappen a while ago, but he still hasn't really been close enough to make a move. But, I mean, time's ticking, but he could still do it, really. I mean, Panis is ever catching up. Button is in third. That is his position, really. Fisichella's in fourth. Villeneuve's actually been struggling to keep up, really. I mean, Villeneuve, he's actually dropped back a bit last time I saw from Fisichella. I mean, they're actually quite evenly matched. Ever since Villeneuve got close to Fisichella, it's like any pace advantage he had over him has been neutralised. So Fisichella's in 4th. At no point has he really come under any major threat from Villeneuve. Aleix is in 6th. He is the luckiest guy out there because, well, Benoldi is doing a brilliant job. Once again, Benoldi, the moving roadblock. He's in 7th. Ralf Schumacher has been up there fighting for a points place. So is Hakkinen. Hakkinen was in 8th at one point. But, I mean, this keeps happening, really. Montoya, this is actually the first time I've seen him up towards a points place. But Hakkinen has been up behind Benoldi. So is Ralf Schumacher. So is that Jaguar driver, whoever it is, Eddie Irvine. Frenzen's actually coming into the play for the first time now. So, we're on the final lap. Okay, let me just have a look towards the front just in case we miss a move involving Panis or Frentzen. So, hang on. This is realistically, the final overtaking opportunity Panis is going to get. It's going to be down towards Interstow. He's going to try and make a move around the outside, but Verstappen blocks it off, and that's it. I really don't see how Panis is going to win this Grand Prix. I really don't. And, I mean, going back to what I was saying earlier on, because I don't think anything is going to happen, Aleix in 6th. He's been helped out by the fact that, well, firstly, he's quicker than Benoldi, and Benoldi's been holding everyone up. Now, we know in F1, you get kind of the teammate battles, Drivers' Championship battles, Constructors' Championship battles. I like to think that in this reverse grid race series, you have a battle between the bottom teams and the top teams. And, I mean, in this case, the battle for the final points place, the bottom teams have worked out. They've succeeded. Benoldi and Aleix inadvertently have formed an alliance, and they're going to stop Hakkinen from getting his first points this season. Williams aren't going to score any, neither are Jordan. The bottom teams have well and truly won out for the final points place. But coming around Woodcote, Jos Verstappen is going to win the 2001 British Grand Prix. Olivier Panis will take 2nd, and Giancarlo Fisichella will take... Jenson Button will take a comfortable 3rd place finish. Fisichella in 4th. Never really came under too much threat really from Villeneuve in 5th. And Aleix, helped massively by Benoldi as I was saying earlier on, is going to take the final points place. So there you go. I mean, there was really a lot to expect. Oh, Panis. Just a few seconds too late, but I think this is going to be... There you go. If it was a 16-lap Grand Prix, Panis would have won it. Because there you go, that proves, because they keep racing. It's not like they're slowing down, they are racing. Give it another 20 seconds, Panis would have won the British Grand Prix. Well then, that was the British Grand Prix. And as always, Silverstone didn't fail to put on a phenomenal race. Easily the best one this series in terms of action. Now, I mean, of course, you always see kind of a edited down sort of highlights reel of every race I do in this series. But I can tell you from sitting here and watching all 15 laps, there was the most amount of action in this race. I mean, you wouldn't have seen all of it because I want to keep the video a reasonable length, and also, ever since I've done a reverse grid series on 2001, there's so much more action that I could put in, but cut out just to stop the video from being too long, because any action which is inconsequential, or, or let's say an overtake gets made that then gets, let's say, for example, like we saw in this race, Hakkinen passes Ralf Schumacher, but then a lap later Ralf Schumacher passes Hakkinen. Any moves which, cancel themselves out, I always cut out from the final video. And in this race, it happened all the time. And there was never a dull moment. There was always action. There were surprises. Verstappen to win a race. I mean, Panis caught up quickly, but even then there was like 3 laps where Panis was within striking distance from Verstappen and never really made a move. But there you go, really. Easily the most exciting race this series so far. Right then, so on to the Drivers' Championship, and there's actually been quite a bit of movement, although all of it in the top half of the Drivers' Championship standings, but none at the very top. Jenson Button, he's still leading the Drivers' Championship. He's on 56 points, and in fact he actually extended his championship lead, because yes, he only scored 4 points this Grand Prix, but Jacques Villeneuve, the guy in second, only scored 2 points this Grand Prix, so Villeneuve is on 33 points now, 23 points behind Jenson Button. That's 2 race wins, and then a 4th is what Villeneuve would need to overtake Jenson Button. Giancarlo Fisichella is now on the same points total as Juan Pablo Montoya. I believe Montoya is ahead in the championship purely based off of a race win, because Fisichella, he's been more consistent. He's got quite a few second place finishes. This Grand Prix, a 4th place finish. Whereas Montoya, I mean, just under half of his points total was gained at the Australian Grand Prix right back at the start of the season, which he won. The race winner and second place finisher from this Grand Prix, Jos Verstappen and Olivier Panis, are now both on 20 points. I don't actually know what would separate them. Again, you'll know when you actually see the final tables. But both of those drivers have got a race win. I think Verstappen's ahead though because he's got a second place finish, which I don't think Panis has. Either way, they're both on 20 points, so they've joined kind of an elite gang. You know, they're not too far away from Michael Schumacher, Juan Pablo Montoya, Fisichella. They're ahead of Ralf Schumacher. So Panis and Verstappen, Jos Verstappen especially, both of those drivers have been big surprises for me this series. And on to the Constructors' Championship, and there really hasn't been any change here, to be honest. Benetton are still leading the Constructors' Championship, as they have done for as long as I can really remember, to be honest. They scored 7 points this Grand Prix thanks to Button finishing 3rd and Fisichella finishing 4th. Now BAR, second in the championship, they did close the gap on Benetton because they did outscore Benetton this Grand Prix. The thing is though, is they only outscored Benetton by 1 point. And then the only other change is quite a big one actually. Remember the Canadian Grand Prix a few episodes ago, which Jean Alesi won? That was a remarkable race win for Jean Alesi, came out of nowhere, wasn't expecting anything from him or from Prost the entire season. And I thought, because they scored 10 points that Grand Prix, and I thought, well that's it, that, you know, no one's going to touch them, no one behind is going to touch them because 10 points, who else is really going to score that? And just a few Grand Prix later, literally 3 Grand Prix after that Canadian Grand Prix, who was going to catch Prost? Arrows, of course. Arrows, because they really have stepped up to the plate. Ever since Prost got that race win, Arrows, they have just been right up there consistently. Yes, Minardi, they've got 2 race wins, but Prost have been right up there with Jean Alesi. Arrows have just turned up to the game ever since Prost won. So, actually, the battle for 5th in the Constructors' Championship between Minardi, Prost and Arrows is infinitely more interesting than any other battle in either of the 2 championships. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and next time it's the German Grand Prix around Hockenheim. But let's not forget, this is 2001. This is the old layout of Hockenheim with the super long straights. I mean, it basically is an oval, this track. It's an oval with a couple of chicanes and a stadium section. It's going to be top team territory. And in fact, it should be Mercedes territory, really, with the sort of engine they've been building. And BMW. This really should be a day for the Germans, the Schumacher brothers, Mercedes, BMW. Mika Hakkinen might finally score his first points. Jarno Trulli, he's a top team driver. Jordan should perform well around this track. Who knows? But anyway, as I'm sure you can tell by my commentary, I am buzzing for the next episode because it is around the old layout of Hockenheim, one of my favourite tracks ever in Formula 1. So I'll see you then.